I'm doing the setup for the monitors and the front of house, and doing both with the band, because the band is doing their own monitors, and we have one light guy that also does backline, and we have one helper that he's like our tour bitch. He runs around and fixes stuff for us that we need to get done, and we use the local people, and at this venue, for instance, it's very, very good. The main challenge is, I would say, get the balance between the three vocals. I have to always run the vocals in real time, because there is no compressor in the world that could really fix those levels. So I always have to run that. That's the main challenge, I would say. The rest is just keeping a really fat wall of sound that contains a fair amount of guitar, because it's just one guitarist. So it's important to have that guitar loud. So because it's a heavy metal band, it's not supposed to be all keyboards and like the melody thing that the keyboards produce. The keyboards are programmed, by the way, so we don't have a keyboard player on stage. When I saw the console, I was terrified and worried. To be honest, I didn't expect it to be so small, because it looks like a keyboard. So light. Normally the digital console has the processing power inside the actual console. That's not the case here. It's the same setup as any Digidesign console, really, with the venue software. I was terrified because I didn't know how would I control all of this, and how fast would that be. I mean, when the show starts, everything has to work like this. In case something happens, I have to tweak something. The room doesn't work that well with this EQ or the compression or anything. So I was terrified. But we did 2 shows in Finland with it. We just took a chance and took it to Finland before the tour, and because then we had full sound check, not the long drives and like that, and like we have now. So we really had the chance to try it out, and it worked perfectly. I don't really use DCAs on this console. I use it on every other console, but on this one, for some reason, I don't, because I have everything really where I want it. For instance, I have a lot of bass drum, and because it's a bass drum based band, you know what they say, bass drum is the new lead vocal. So I have the bass drum and snare, and my bass, guitar, the keyboard tracks, and the vocals on one layer, and I have then all the toms, overheads, snare bottoms, stuff like that I don't really touch that much during the show. I have another layer. So I'm always accessing the things that I need to adjust in real time in one layer, and of course the returns for the delays. So if I want to go and do something with one channel, I naturally have to select it by pressing select or the solo button. It works with the solo button as well. And you have to expand, you have to choose what you want to use. Here, if you want to work with an EQ, you just press the EQ here, and it will appear here all the parameters that you need. So you have the gain for one parameter, and then you have also the Q level. When you select the frequency, you can adjust the Q to see it appears there, and it's green. All these are green here, and it's going to be green, the EQ here. So, and if I want to go back, to go to the top here, and then you can use, for instance, a compressor here, and it will be blue up here, and it will turn blue up here as well. So you have the side chain that function that's really good if you want to sidechain like the bass drum to the bass and have a lot of bass, or I sidechain some vocals to the guitar, so when they come in the guitar goes down a little bit, which is good because I have so much going on all the time. It's going to be a software update, I'm told, that's going to change that. But with this software, you can't put, it's not flexible enough with the faders. So what I would like to have is like one input here, maybe one DCA here or group here, and maybe an output next to that one. That can't be done with this software. So it's all inputs. You have to go to the user layer to do like that. And I would like to customize the layers more. That's one thing that I don't like. Also, I don't have the right now in this setup. I have the output faders on the user layer. So when I am in the working layer, the outputs comes on a knob, the master fader. A sweet sound, I think. I would say the preamps are really good. And of course, the endless possibilities with plugins, which is really good. There are so many manufacturers of plugins, so you can do whatever you want to do. The recording part is by far amazing. I mean, you can do the virtual soundcheck. I have a band that's really popular with a lot of interviews and stuff, so it's really hard to have them soundcheck every day because the lack of time really. So I set up everything and I recorded the last show. I can actually show you here. I just choose the inputs to be from Pro Tools and not the stage. And we can listen a little bit to drums and bass. So, and if I want to work with just guitar, I can mute everything else. Now I have guitar and keyboard, just keyboards with bass. So that gives you an indication of how the room works. I mean, if we wouldn't have to check the room every time, there wouldn't be a need for a sound engineer at one point, I think. One other thing that's really good for me, that we are recording this tour to make a live album or a live DVD, I don't really know. We're going to have material for that anyways. If we take a look, you want to take a look at the screen here? You can see that there are markers right up here for every song, and that is because we have snapshots for it, for the show. So this is the start of show. When I recall this snapshot, it leaves a marker on the recording that this is the start of a show, and then I have a set list here, and if there's any changing of the set list, I just go to that song and I recall it there, press recall, and it will leave a marker. So after a while, it's really easy to sort to see where is this song, because you don't see it, you just see the wave signature on the screen. So the snapshots, it's also a feature that I like. This is the monitor console that I had lying around at home. I took this, and we have our microphones. We have our wireless microphones here, routed digitally into the console through that interface there. and that interface also takes all the in-ear systems here digitally, so I don't have to worry about the console not having enough outputs, because the in-ears are in stereo, so it eats up outputs. And I'm using, for this tour, where there are 3 bands. One of the bands doesn't use in-ear, they use monitors, so you have to use 4 outputs for monitors and 8 outputs for the in-ears, 9 actually. So that's a good thing to route it digitally. And yeah, I have for one band, I have one setup of one set of belt packs for one band and one for the other band, the 2 that uses in-ear. So they use the same system, so we scan it once and we're through. So there's always a problem with the frequencies, you know, everywhere, and interference and stuff. So you have to scan it, sometimes rescan it just before the show to be sure that no digital TV or something like that, or like airport signals, or like in Madrid it was a big manifestation and police had random frequencies coming in and out, so we were really lucky to dodge that. Maybe there are other ways to do it, but we just rescan it and make sure that we know what's legal in that country. Yesterday we had like an epiphany or something. We did a show in Memmingen, and it was a hall for, I think, 1,200 people or something like that. I think that's the capacity. Could be 900. I'm not really sure, but it was about that size. And it was two Q7s on each side. That was the PA. And of course I think it was some Q bases, and I don't know, was B12 maybe, I don't know, B2. And there was 2 Qs for the Q7s for the infills, and that was it. And we had plenty of headroom, and it sounded fantastic, really fantastic from beginning to end. They had the room was really dampened as well, so it was direct sound, nothing bouncing around. Awesome. I mean, that compared to a show that we did in Boston last summer on the US tour, they had like 3 PA systems, like a wall of speakers on both sides, and it sounded terrible compared to these little small speakers. Awesome. Of course, I love acoustics, to have that on every venue, or DMB on every venue, but that's not happening. Today we're working with GBL, horns mainly, and yeah, a little bit sharp, and as the local guys say, this is a aggressive PA, and it really is, but some EQ and we'll be fine. Yeah.